what is next with the exhaust? It's a tricky one. It's either, obviously I've only got two options because I've done half of it. Does that make sense, right? So obviously I've done the X-pipe with no resonators, and then I changed it to X-pipe with resonators with the sport cats. So now it's back box or long tube headers. So the back box would definitely change the tone, maybe to a deeper one, I'm not sure. Everything else that I've been doing to it is making it higher and higher, but I don't like it too high, like high pitch. So now I'm trying to get it a little bit deeper. So I went to Fast Road Conversions to ask for their advice of what to do next basically. They suggested either doing the H-pipe, which will make it deeper, but I said it sounds more like an American muscle car, which is not what I want because it's taking it away from the Maserati completely. Maserati and Ferrari are quite high pitched, so I don't want to take it away and make it like an American muscle car. That's not what I want. So I said no, we'll leave it. I want to leave it like the way that it's intended, like the way that they've done it. So they've done the next pipe as stock. I want to keep it like that. So the reason why I went there in the first place was the long tube headers. The more I drive around this car, the more I've got to shout because the exhaust is getting louder the more I bed it in, which is good, but it's not good for my voice. So it's a bit croaky. That's probably why I've got a sore throat. Anyway, so I asked about, I don't want to like the H-pipe anyway, so I said like the long tube headers is the one. And he said, what are you looking for? I said, well, I want it to be like a deeper tone. And he said, well, you won't get that with long tube headers, it'll be higher pitch. It'll be more raspy, which is not what I want. But he said, you'll gain the most. I said, well, how much? He said, he's not sure. It could be anywhere from like 15 horsepower to 50 horsepower. It depends on the car. 50 horsepower would be more likely if you got something like a Lamborghini Aventador, yeah, like the high-end ones. For a Maserati, you're probably looking maybe 20, maybe 25 horsepower. 15 most likely to be realistic. So I said, how much will it cost? He said, it's going to be costly. They got to drop the engine or at least raise it or something, because they can get to one side, but they can't get to the other side. So they've got to like do something with the engine. I can't remember what they said. I think they said they might have to like raise it up a bit, or they have to take the engine out completely. Because I've seen when people have done the long tube headers, which is rare on Maseratis, I haven't seen a lot of custom jobs. I'm not sure if that's true, but on the internet I haven't seen a lot of custom jobs. I don't think they even sell them as like, where you can just buy it and then like ask someone to put it on. So it's going to be costly. I said, oh, okay, how much? They said they don't really know because they haven't really ever done it on the Maserati where they've had to drop the engine and everything. They said they have done headers before. They said it's doable, but because you want the long tube headers, they've got to like move the small cats back, which means I've got to get that basically redone, which I've just had done. And then they had to move the resonators because they've done like the resonators on the X-pipe, but in front, where a lot of people do it on the rear. So they have to move that to the rear, which means there'll be smaller resonators, which means it'll change the tone again. So I've got to do that again. He said, off the top of my head, this is just a complete estimate. It might be a lot cheaper or it might be more expensive, but he said about £4,000. I was like, oh shit. I said, what about short tube? Is that better, cheaper? It is cheaper, but he said it'd be pointless. You wouldn't gain much. It'll be a slightly deeper tone compared to the long tube headers, but it will still be higher pitched than what it is now. He said his opinion, he wouldn't recommend it. He said £4,000 to get like 15 horsepower and a bit more noise and everything, and it will be raspier, which is not what I want. He said it might be a waste of money. I was like, oh, okay. So I said, what can we do then? So I was thinking about the rear. I was like, well, the rear, like every time I've done the rear boxes on like other cars, it didn't make it more high pitch. It made it like a deeper tone. Where these cars are quite on the higher ends, that's probably what the sound's going to be. But he said it might make it deeper actually. He said because the back boxes is the one that usually changes the noise as well. It really changes the noise more than what like everything else has. X-pipe just makes it raspier. Small cats make it louder. X-Pipe probably made it, I don't know if the X-Pipe made it louder than the Sport Cats, but you get the most gains out of the Sport Cats as well, and it's more of an aggressive sound. It does like more pops and everything. I wouldn't say loads more pops though. I mean, it does do pops, but it's rare. I'm not sure if it's because I just haven't bedded it in yet. So the back box, I think they're the ones where if I say anything to do with the rear mufflers, I'm going to get that done next. He's like, oh, it'd be too loud. So I'm guessing that the back box is the one that does the most noise and probably changes the tone the most, actually, I reckon. So it should be deeper, that's what I hope. So we was thinking about doing the back boxes, and then he looked inside it, because they're about the valves, because like we checked last time that the valves are like, I think he said the valves were shut open completely, like, so like I was like, oh, that's probably why it's loud then. So we just checked it over, but then he was checking underneath, and he's like, wait a minute, this side's that way and the other side's the other way, so they're not both the same. So he said he thinks that one of them's like completely shut, so he put in like a camera on the side that's open, and this thing popped up, like it had like legs and like a face, and we was like, whoa, what the fuck's that? I actually thought it was like a spider that was in my exhaust, like just staring at this camera, but it wasn't. It was just a bit of crap in there, basically, like a bit of dirt or something, but it just looked like a spider at first. It was hilarious. Anyway, so it was open, so then we looked on the other side, so like the passenger side, and it's shut. It's completely shut, and it doesn't move at all. It's just stuck. We couldn't even move it by hand. We can move the other one, but we can't move that one. So the noise isn't what it's meant to be like. So that vibrating sound, where it sounds like a trumpet at higher end, I thought it was the exhaust. So like the custom exhaust making it do that. But I think now it could be because where one valve is always shut, it might be that the air's like coming out slightly, but it's like vibrating like on the valve, and that could be the reason why it does that shitty sound. I'm just guessing. It might not be. I mean, that's what I'm hoping, I suppose. So yeah, so that side's completely shut, and it's always been like it since I've had it. So one, this car's loud anyway, and it does sound nice. But if that valve was open, I can make it sound even louder and even nicer. So this ain't the right potential of what it's meant to be doing. It could be louder than this. It's just quite interesting to hear that, which is a good thing, because I won't go into it now, but I'll be doing another video about it. But there's a reason for the next video about why to do with the valves being shut. I won't give too much away, but you could probably guess actually. But we'll do another video on that another time. So I was asking him, what's the best thing to do then? He suggested probably going for the valve to try and get that sorted out first before doing like back box and everything. Because he said where one side's shut completely, it's probably quite, well, it's quiet, isn't it? I mean, look at the videos that you see, like comparing the valves shut, open, they're quite a big difference. So one side's completely shut and it never opens. I mean, never. Because it's meant to open at like 3,000 RPM or something, or like 3,500. It's meant to open slightly, and then if you've got it in sport and manual mode, it will open all the time, which is what that one's doing. But that's stuck anyway, but it's always open. But that side's completely shut, so it's sort of like fuck things over. Which is quite interesting. So I said, okay, so what's your suggestion? He said it's either an easy fix, or it's to do with like the electronics, and I'm not going into it because I don't really fucking understand. But he said it'd be quite expensive. So I was like, oh, okay. So I said, so what's probably the cheapest and like best thing to do then? He said it's probably best to do a valve delete, to take the valves out, which I think is probably the best way to do it actually, because I want the air to come out properly. Because if you've got valves in your car and they're open, you still got the valve like in the middle, so like the air's still going around something. I mean, I don't know if that changes it much, but I'd rather the valve be completely gone, so you get the full air coming out and not hitting anything. Like I said, I don't know if that means that it changes the sound or not, but I don't want it to hit anything. I want it completely out. So the next mod will be a valve delete. I'm just waiting for the guys to get back to me on how much it is. I don't think it'd be that much. Should be quite an easy job. And we'll see what the sound's like. If I still want it to be louder, I'll go for the back box, and then we'll do that, because the back boxes on this is actually quite restricted. They're quite big. So if we did a sport box, like mufflers, and then we can make the tone maybe deeper as well, and obviously it'd be a lot louder. And I reckon that's the way to go. I don't think the long tube headers are worth it. I mean, like I said, it's going to be more raspy, which is what I don't want. It's going to be fucking expensive, like £4 which is ridiculous. It's not worth it, is it? So I think I'm going to leave it. I think it'll be too much as well. I think it'd just be like, if you did a full system, I think it'd just be too loud. And then where I'm taking the valves out and maybe doing like the rear muffler with no valves, you won't have a chance to like calm it down. You'll be like, fuck, what have I done? And then you'll probably just get your neighbours fucking hating you. Even though saying that, my next door neighbours are fine with it. I've got one neighbour that's noisy all the time, so he can't say much. So if he did, I'll say about him like early hours in the morning, fucking doing DIY. Early hours in the morning, fucking. Oh, it's good if I didn't pause for too long. Early hours in the morning, fucking. You get what I mean? Fucking DIY. Not actually fucking. Anyway, I've got another neighbour who loves this car, and he's been in the car as well. I didn't do a video on it, but he's been in the car and he loves it. He said he loves the noise, so he doesn't care either. And there's another guy in my street who loves it as well. He says to my mum, oh, that car, he went, oh yeah, it's my son's. He went, oh no, sorry, it's too loud. He went, no. He went, I fucking love it. I was like, oh, okay. So, it's not too bad. But it's just nice to not go over the top. Jesus Christ. Sorry, there's just a car in front of me. He just starts putting his foot down, but I know petrol comes out the exhaust like a little bit, but it came out like a hose. It literally just spraying it out, and I was like, that can't be right. I mean, it should drip out a little bit, but it literally was spraying. I was like, what? Like, you know, like the Nissan GTRs when they do like the pops and bangs, and like you get like a flame that comes out. It was quite a long flame, right? It's like that, but it was just like fuel. It was crazy. So, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna do the valve delete is the next thing, and then I'll put on some small mufflers after that. And then we'll go from there. We'll do a stage 2 tune, and then do a dyno, and then maybe one day, if I think that I'm bored enough, I'll do the long tube headers just because there's, like I say, it's finished. And again, Jesus. So this car is literally spraying out so much fuel out of the exhaust. That can't be correct. I'm trying to avoid it because I don't want to go on it. Starts slipping everywhere. Obviously petrol ain't as bad as oil, but then again, every time he puts his foot down, it's spraying like literally like about that much. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if mine does that. I mean, like, other cars I don't see like the petrol just spraying out. Anyway, so we'll go from there. Like I said, like if I get bored and I'll be like, okay, we'll do the exhaust just because it's the full exhaust now, and then I can. It's just more content, I suppose. But £4 a lot of money. If I had the money saved up, I would. But I've got other things to pay out for at the moment, and I'd rather sort that out than pay it for long tube headers that I don't really need. It's not going to change the way that I want. The back boxes probably will the most. So that's the one I'm going to do next. But hopefully you enjoyed my little video on what's to come. And I've got another video coming about some certain stuff, bills, which I'm not like to talk about, but I need to get into it. So, every time I come down here, people punch each other because it's a yellow car. They're always like, yellow car, punch, yellow car, punch. I feel sorry for them actually. I'm causing a little bit of mayhem down here. They just like to hit each other just because it's a yellow car. Funny how it's still going around, that thing, yellow car. I don't know who came up with that thing. Why yellow? What's the point in that? Oh, I don't know. Anywho, we're rambling. So, I'm not sure when I'll do the exhaust, but the valve delete I'll be doing soon because I just need to get it done. And I'll do another video on the reason why on that as well. Probably like after the bill one, the big bills. And I'll explain the reason for it. And you might know if you know cars, you know, like about power and modifying cars and etc., you might know, but I'll explain the good thing and the bad thing about these valves being permanently closed on one side. But for now, I'm going to enjoy the drive. See you for the next one.